Every morning the sun rises like it always has. It feels permanent, dependable, eternal. Civilizations have built their calendars, religions, and survival around it. Yet behind its calm golden glow is a violent truth. The sun is not a peaceful lamp in the sky. It is a massive nuclear engine balanced on the edge of catastrophe. One day, far in the future, it will die. But what if that future arrived early? What if the sun exploded tomorrow? This question forces us to confront how fragile our existence truly is. We do not live on a stable platform in a safe universe. We live on a small planet, orbiting a star that is constantly fighting against its own gravity. The only reason life exists is because this battle has remained balanced for billions of years. If that balance were broken, everything we know would end. The sun is a continuous nuclear explosion. The sun is not burning like a fire. Fire requires oxygen. The sun is something far more extreme. Deep in its core, hydrogen atoms are being crushed together by immense gravity. When they fuse into helium, a small amount of mass is converted directly into energy. This is Einstein's equation in action. Every second, the sun releases more energy than billions of nuclear weapons combined. This constant fusion is what keeps the sun from collapsing under its own weight. Gravity tries to crush the sun inward. Nuclear energy pushes outward. The entire star exists in a delicate balance between these two forces. Stars do not live peacefully. They survive by resisting their own destruction. This means the sun is not a static object. It is a controlled explosion that has been running for 4.6 billion years. Why the sun cannot naturally become a supernova? In reality, our sun is too small to explode as a true supernova. Only stars at least 8 times more massive can die in that spectacular way. The sun will instead expand into a red giant and later shrink into a white dwarf over billions of years. But to understand how dangerous stars truly are, we must imagine an impossible scenario. Suppose the sun suddenly exploded anyway. Not slowly, not over ages, but instantly. Breaking the rules of physics reveals how dependent we are on a single object in space. We would not see the explosion coming. The sun is about 150 million kilometers away. Light takes 8 minutes to travel from the sun to Earth. That means if the sun exploded, we would live normally for 8 minutes, unaware that our star no longer existed. People would go about their routines. Planes would fly. Cars would move through traffic. Children would sit in classrooms. All while the solar system was already dead. Then, without warning, the sky would become brighter than anything humanity has ever witnessed. Not a flash, but an overwhelming flood of radiation. Anyone looking at the sky would be instantly blinded. Satellites would fail. Communications would collapse. Power grids would overload. The upper atmosphere would ignite with radiation storms. And this would only be the beginning. The shockwave that would burn half the planet. A supernova releases more energy in seconds than the sun produces in its entire lifetime. At Earth's distance, the planet would not vanish completely, but it would be catastrophically damaged. The hemisphere facing the sun would be destroyed almost instantly. Oceans would boil. Land would melt. The atmosphere would be stripped away by radiation and solar debris. No life would survive on that side. The far side of Earth would not be safe either. Heat would spread rapidly through the atmosphere. Global firestorms would erupt. Weather systems would collapse. Civilization would end within hours. Earth would not die peacefully. It would be violently wounded. The solar system would lose its anchor. The sun is not just a source of light. It is the gravitational engine of the entire solar system. Nearly 99.86% of all the system's mass is concentrated inside it. Every planet, moon, asteroid, and comet is bound in place by the sun's immense gravity. It is the invisible tether that keeps Earth locked in a stable orbit, year after year, century after century. If that mass suddenly vanished, the structure of the solar system would instantly unravel. The moment the sun disappeared, Earth would no longer curve around a central star. Instead, it would continue moving forward in a straight line at its orbital speed of about 30 kilometers per second. The familiar rhythm of time would collapse. There would be no more sunrises, no sunsets, no seasons, no years. Day and night would lose all meaning. Our planet would become a rogue world, drifting silently through interstellar space, cut loose from the system that gave it life. A rapid descent into a frozen nightmare. Sunlight is not just illumination, it is Earth's primary energy source. Without it, the planet would begin losing heat immediately. Within days, global temperatures would fall below freezing. Storm systems would collapse as the atmosphere lost its driving force. Within weeks, most regions of Earth would resemble polar environments. Within months, vast portions of the oceans would begin freezing from the surface downward. Ice would spread across the seas like a closing lid, sealing off the world beneath. Within a year, average global temperatures could plunge below minus 70 degrees Celsius. Entire ecosystems would fail in sequence. Plants would die first, unable to photosynthesize. Herbivores would follow. Then predators. The extinction of life would not come as an explosion, but as a quiet planetary shutdown. Humanity's only chance would be underground. There is one narrow path for survival. Earth's interior still contains heat. Just a few meters underground, temperatures remain stable year-round. Deep beneath the surface, geothermal warmth persists even without the sun. If humanity had warning, survival would move underground. Cities would be built inside mountains. Artificial lighting would replace sunlight. Nuclear and geothermal energy would power enclosed ecosystems. Humanity would become a subterranean species, living inside the planet it once ruled from the surface. The long-term death of the planet. As centuries passed, Earth would continue bleeding heat into space. Ice sheets would thicken across continents. The oceans would freeze almost completely. Eventually, even the atmosphere would begin to condense and fall as frozen gases onto the surface. Without an atmosphere, Earth would lose its final shield. Cosmic radiation would strike the surface directly. Meteor impacts would increase without atmospheric protection. The planet would become a frozen, airless world, more like Pluto than the vibrant Earth we know. At that stage, no underground refuge could last forever. Humanity would either escape the planet entirely or disappear with it. Could Earth be saved by another star? In theory, a drifting Earth could one day pass close enough to another star to be captured by its gravity. If that happened, a new sunrise could return to the planet. But the universe is incomprehensibly vast. Stars are separated by trillions of kilometers. The odds of such a rescue are astronomically small. Most likely, Earth would wander alone through the galaxy for billions of years, a frozen relic carrying the silent remains of oceans, cities, and civilizations through endless darkness. It would become a cosmic ghost, a dead world still orbiting nothing. The comforting truth about the sun's real future. Fortunately, this nightmare scenario belongs to imagination, not reality. The sun is stable and only halfway through its natural lifespan. It has burned steadily for over 4 billion years and will continue doing so for another 5 billion. When its fuel begins to run low, it will not explode suddenly. Instead, the sun will slowly swell into a red giant over millions of years. This transformation will be gradual, predictable, and visible far in advance. Humanity, if it still exists, will have enormous amounts of time to prepare. The sun's death will not be a sudden catastrophe, but a slow cosmic sunset. The sun's death will create new worlds. When the sun finally sheds its outer layers, that material will drift into space and mix with interstellar clouds. Over time, gravity will gather those atoms into new stars and planets. The universe recycles itself endlessly. Nothing is truly lost. The carbon in your cells, the iron in your blood, and the calcium in your bones were forged in stars that died long before Earth was born. One day, the sun will join them. Its death will become the raw material for future solar systems. Somewhere, billions of years from now, new worlds may form from the remains of our star, perhaps even new Earths, orbiting new suns under alien skies. A future beyond our golden star. It is difficult to imagine a solar system without the sun. It has ruled our sky for all of human history. But the universe is not built for permanence. Stars are born. Stars live. Stars die. If humanity survives long enough, our descendants may live among distant suns, born not on Earth, but in space itself. The sun will not last forever, but neither will we. And that is what makes this moment in cosmic history extraordinary. The sun feels eternal, but even stars have an end. Right now, we are living in the brief moment when Earth is still alive and our sky is still bright. If you enjoy exploring the universe and its mysteries, like and subscribe.